Really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, and he actually gets called in on this kind of board. Like, what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold.
Yep.
Like, he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draw. He's going to have king X. And we kind of know, I mean, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets. And we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's a very good point, man. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just you.
All right, so look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
You wouldn't be a
I'm already
quiz.
down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Like his popper, we have
Ah!
standard.
Yes.
And the reason is because queen.
I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold.
The right. But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It says
open
right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak. Welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, you know, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious. And everybody's 50.
Nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who in the who does that?
What the hell? Yeah, so back up.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
He's
always
just
love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
But, all right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about D-pipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise it. What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options to 12 and 1,400 average. So
Yep.
it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on the site with these other crushers, you know, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. You know, Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. You know, remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He could just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation.
That's pre-flop? I think pre. Alright, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I see people when it comes to poker is when you can get to the turn, there's an opportunity.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400.
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the arm and just do that.
Alright, and...
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's for winning it.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Let's do it.
No, we don't win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol,
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR.
$10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then we'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. Do you know what this means?
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool
Filthy
because we have
animal.
2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one.
All right, guys, we are here for the study stream, scrambling to get it done. What's happening? We're flying solo today. Mr. Crazy Sixes is on vacation with his family. So it's just going to be us today. Try and keep this shit together. How you doing? What's up, Matt? Good morning, Meepo. How you doing, guys? If this is the first time tuning in, usually here with my partner, Crazy Sixes. But we're doing a study stream here. The way this is going to work is I'm going to draw 2 winners from my stream and poker coaching in the chat for you to get in on that. Once I draw 2 winners, you guys will compete in one of these quizzes by pokercoaching.com, Jonathan Little's poker coaching site. And whoever wins gets $5. Plain and simple. Sweet, easy, gambling on getting better at gambling. Good morning. What's up, Dennis? Exclamation point PC chat. If you want to sign up for free to pokercoaching.com, you get 20 free quizzes, big blind charts for 100 blinds or more, and some homework assignments. And if you sign up for the premium, there is 1,625 quizzes, homework assignments up the wazoo, webinars. There's a poker coaching Discord, all this content. Look at all this free content. What are you doing? Get out there. Get in this free content. Poker coaching in the chat, though, for you to get in on the drawing. And I see 0 entries. This might be the shortest study stream in history. There you guys go. Get in here, get involved. I gotta get done with this pack and move the fuck out of this house. Scrambling. I have to leave town next week for work, which is like the worst possible timing. I gotta go for a full fucking week. The week before I'm supposed to move, and then I come back and 2 days later we're out the door. So scrambling to get as much done as possible, because anything I don't get done, my wife has to do by herself. You've been up all night, Cyrus. What the fuck? Go to bed. What's wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Go to sleep. Sleep is good. I can't do that shit, man. On what was it, Sunday, I had that deep run in the WSOP drafted event, the $30 20K. I think I busted third. And I was up till 2:30 in the morning. And then I couldn't go to sleep until like 3:30 in the morning. And then I had to be up at 6 a.m. for work. And man, it took me 3 fucking days to recover from that. Casa de Toe, what's the new place going to be called? Toe Castle? Oh, Le Chateau is too solid to pass up. Le Chateau is phenomenal. Done. Meatball, you get the credit. I love that. All right. We got a few people in here. Let's start drawing. Le Chateau. I got to remember that. I love it. Cyrus. This is going to be an easy win for whoever's up against him because his ass is spaced out from not sleeping last night. Tea drinking punk gets the layup. All right. What quiz should we do? I'm going to try and scroll down here a little bit of ways so we can leave the ones up top for when Sixes comes back. Because things just work better that way. I see a Jonathan here, 1587. Let's do that. And where's my other quizzes so I can keep track of both of you? This is what gets hard because the site doesn't like it when you're in on 2 browsers and trying to take a quiz with a bunch of answers. All right, let's do this. Let's play it. Let's find out. Good luck.
Here we have the beautiful Pocket Kings facing an under-the-gun raise from a loose aggressive player and a splashy call. Should we call, re-raise to 1,400, re-raise to 2,400, or re-raise to 3,400?
All right, here we go, guys. We got the Kings. What's the raise size? 1,400, 2,400, 3,400. What you think? We are 400, 100, 200. We're deep as all fuck. Roughly as all fuck. Meatball going 24. What am I going? Okay. 24. Everybody going 24. 24 for Cyrus. 3,400 for Tacos. He's sizing the hell up. Monkey May going 24. Welcome, TKE. 24 for Punk and for Cyrus. Yeah, 24 is good. 34 is good too. I mean, we're so deep. The 34 isn't too bad. I mean, we're so deep. So I think either one of those options are fine. I got a feeling Jonathan's going to go 34. But I think anywhere between 24 and 34 is good. So let's do it. 24 for both.
Pocket Kings are great.
We're
We're definitely 3-betting. Typically, I'm going to re-raise to about the size of the pot in this scenario, which is 3 times the last bet plus any additional money in the pot. So 3 times 500 is 1,500 plus any additional money in the pot. So that would be plus 500, 600, 700, 800. 15 plus 8 is 23.
I want to be terrible and pause this real quick. One other thought about Monkey Man, about pricing out. The other thing, too, is this is early open, early call. Like, these are condensed ranges, which means they're probably going to call this more often. for a bigger size.
So 2,300 is about a pot size raise. Call it 2,400. Should be good to go. You could make it bigger if you were really convinced your opponents like their hands and were not folding, but our opponents are loose and aggressive and splashy, so the ranges are probably pretty garbage to begin with. At least way worse than most people under the gun and under the gun +1. That said, they're probably still reasonable enough, right? You may say, why not go small, like 1,400, to ensure they call you? Well, the thing is, whenever you make it 1,000 more, or 900 more, they're not really messing up by calling in this scenario. They're playing well by calling with their pocket 2s and their 9/8 suited because they realize they have gigantic implied odds. So we want to go a little bit bigger to cut off their implied odds to the best of our ability. So we go 2,400. When I say cut off their implied odds to the best of their ability, obviously going all in would cut off their implied odds maximally, but then they never call us, right? So there's a balancing act in here. And I think when you make it 3,400, they will start folding out a lot of hands you don't really care if they call you with, like pocket 2s and 9/8 suited, right? Like it's fine for them to call in this scenario as long as we don't just give them amazing pre-flop odds. I mean, we could re-raise the minimum, right? And they're going to call every time, but that's not really what we're going for because they're not messing up. Remember, you make money when your opponents mess up. And if we make it 3,400, I think they're just going to play well pre-flop the vast majority of the time. Anyway, 2,400 gets called by the initial raiser, and ooh, then the splashy player rips it all in for 100 big blinds.
Who's folding?
Notice here we have a lot of chips, and the player under the gun has 40,000 total, so twice this guy's all in. Should we fold, call,
Who's
or
folding?
go all in?
Anybody folding? Anybody balancing their folding range? Call, call, call. Call. Monkey May jamming. Call for Cyrus. Jam for Caleb. Call looks stronger, he says. All in for Felici Suerte. Bingo calling. Hosen. Oh, that's a different 400. What? Call, call, all in, call, all in, call, all in, all in, all in, call. A few all-ins out there, a few calls. We got a mix of the options here. Fold, there it is. J. Matthew balancing his folding range. I love it. Call for Punk, call for Cyrus. Yeah, I think calling is better than going all in here. I mean, if we want to give him every opportunity to call again or come over the top. And if we jam, I mean, at 200 bigs, like, there is no looking weaker, right? We're just fucking, or looking stronger, looking weaker. I think calling doesn't look stronger when we're this deep. It's much different when you're on, like, 60 bigs, right? I would call. Let's find out.
Well, don't fold. The only way we could
Doesn't
possibly
like jamming.
justify folding in this spot is if
Why?
we knew with a high degree of certainty that under the gun +1 only had aces. The thing is that if they have only aces, I mean, they would not be labeled as splashy to begin with. Now, obviously, someone can be splashy and just like super tricky, and maybe they do actually only have aces here. But it takes a very, very special opponent for me to want to fold out the kings. I'm much more concerned about the under the gun player having aces, because if under the gun foresees this coming, where like let's say they can look and tell under the gun's lining up and all in, and therefore they call and then have under the gun +1 jam, then maybe we do have to worry about under the gun having aces every once in a while, but I just think it's not that big of a concern. Kings are great. Splashy people do ridiculous things every once in a while, even in a $5,000 buy-in tournament. Obviously, the opponent's play is not good with anything, but, you know, they made the play. So this is a spot where I think the only line is to play the hand. The question is, do we shove or do we call? Typically, I just go all in this spot. Anytime we are putting in more than about a third of our money to call, I call. And I realize this is not a third of my money. This is 25% of my money, but it's a third of the effective stack, right? So if I'm putting in more than a third of the effective stack, I usually go all in with my entire playable range. If it's less than a third of the effective stack, I usually call with my entire range, and then call off appropriately if the opponent shoves. So in this scenario, by calling every once in a while, that's going to make warning bells go off and under the gun +1's head and make them fold out a hand like pocket jacks or pocket queens. Whereas if I shove, sometimes they'll just put me on ace king and find a call. So I'm playing the hand. I like the all in. Under the gun folds, And,
Wow.
ooh, against a spicy one, the
100
ace three of
bigs.
spades.
And he gets there.
And we managed
This is
to
real
lose.
life.
But that's fine. We printed all the equity here.
This is a 5K too. Sheesh. It's good to be Jonathan Rich. Holy shit. 100 bigs. Yeet. We got a tie, which means it's the classic coin flip. Cyrus, call it.
Booyah!
Ooh, somebody hit the follow button. Who was that?
We don't die, we multiply.
Oh, that was Marlon with the resub. Thank you, buddy. Dr. Bob Media, thank you for the follow as well. TK, I think I got you, but thank you for the follow. Matt, thank you for the 44 months. Savages. Tails to Cyrus. All right, let's flip it. Heads it is. Punk. Got it. Got it. That was a $5 tournament. Times 1,000. Holy shit. Told you to fold. Jay Bradley, he did. He called it. He totally called it. That's funny as hell. That is funny. All right, new keyword, guys. New keyword is, we're going to keep it Easter themed. Wabbit. Rabbit. Rabbit in the chat for you to draw for the next one. While you guys doing that, I'm going to look for a quiz. Wascally. We can do Lexi. We don't do Lexi very much. Let's do Lexi. Fuck it. Fuck it. 1586. Oops. I'm going to move this over here and minimize this and keep my life easy. 1586. What up, Jerome? Got me on the big screen. I don't know if you want this face in like full, 60-inch high def. I don't know about that one, Marlon. We still got a couple rabbits running in the chat, so we'll give it a sec or two. And we'll see what Lexi's got to teach us today. All right, drawn for it. Let's do it. We can cross off Cyrus and Punk. And the new winner is 60. The one in the living room is... Waves getting in there. That's the buzzer. The one in the living room is a 70. The one in the bedrooms is 60. The one in the garage is a 50. You can see we've been escalating over the years. Winner number one is the Caleb. Mr. Sixhead himself. Jeff coming in with the 58 months. Thank you, boss. Hope you're having a good day at work today. Monkey Man. Ooh, this is going to be a challenge here. Two fucking legends, Caleb and Monkey May. Trying to fuck up this Lexi Gavin quiz. Yeet! Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Team Toe in effect. Let's do it. Ready, set, go. You have to do a sub count update? I'm on the phone. Okay, no problem.
Hey everyone, Lexi Gavin here, and today we are going to go over a hand that I played in the World Series of Poker 1K double stack. Now, I love this tournament. Such a great structure. I love that you start deep. It takes, I think it took like 4 or 5 days to get to the final table, which I liked. The level of play was pretty easy, and just overall a really good tournament. So, let's jump into the hand here. We have King Jack of Diamonds in the cutoff. We start the hand with roughly 50 big blinds. The low jack raises to 2K. The low jack was an unknown player. We decide to flat here. Sometimes you can 3-bet this, but I like flatting. I don't like having to fold away my equity if I did 3-bet and then he 4-bet. So if we did 3-bet and he 4-bet, I'd probably flat one. And now you're playing a bloated pot with King Jack suited, which is not super ideal. So I think flatting here is good. It folds to Tony Miles in the big blind. I don't know if you remember Tony Miles. He got second in the World Series of Poker main event a few years ago. Really, really solid player. He flats, and the flop is queen, nine of diamonds, three of clubs. He checks, low jack, C bets, 3,500 into 7,500, so he goes about half pot here. What do you think we should do? Fold, call, or raise to 8,000?
What are we doing here, guys? Multi-way. That's funny, my phone just updated. Interesting, they have that Face ID shit. And now on the new iPhone update, like, you can do Face ID, and it does Face ID with a mask. So you can do it without having to take your mask down, which is just kind of a funny thing, a kind of funny sign of the times. I don't know. Made my brain tweak. We're at the final table. Fuck. I was so distracted by my cool new phone update that I don't know if we're at the final table. Are we at a final table? Someone in the chat was listening. Call. 8K for Cyrus. Monkey. Colin. Calling. Jeff remembers Tony from the final table of the main event. Caleb calling. Everybody calling. She didn't say we're at a final table. Thank you, Dennis. It's interesting because I actually think if final table, I would mix this, I think, myself. And I would mix more call at the final table because there's ISAM involved and the chips you save are more valuable than the chips you earn. So getting that fold equity and blowing the pot is less appetizing or appealing. Here, I mixed. We could certainly raise this and get it in, which is kind of what I want to do. This guy's not supposed to c-bet in the middle here very much, and does. And I kind of want to punish him a little bit. Golly, I want to raise. I'm not sure what Lex is going to do. I'm not as familiar with her game. I flat this a lot. And probably raise it like 30-40% of the time. All right, call for both Caleb and Monkey Man. Let's see what Lexi says. 8K doesn't seem like enough. Well, we're multi-way. And so we're multi-way. All of our bet sizes go down. So our biggest bet size here would be like 60% if we were c-betting the pot. Whereas heads up, you can go all sorts of sizes. But what's the solver say? I'd have to run it. It's a three-way pot. Machine gun. Had to take a minute and slow the fuck out of the computer. Yeah, so solver says shove. No. But it might raise. All right, let's call and find out.
All right, so I think I like flatting here. We're getting a little bit better to 3-1, and with Tony and Miles in the pot still left to act, that is some greater expected implied odds. If he does decide to come in for the call, then we're getting an even better price with our flush draws. So we give it a call. Tony decides to check raise to 14K. Low jack folds. What do you think we should do here? Should we fold, call, or go all in?
Row. Squozin. We got problems. Show us the way, Caleb. Jam for Cyrus. He ain't scared. He ain't scared at all. Marlon ain't scared. He's gonna machine gun his ass. Tina calling. Jerome all in. Bingo all in. Dennis calling. Another mix. Is Lexi rich? Fuck it. Calling for KE. Jam for J. Matthew. He's not folding this time. Caleb says, call. We aren't ahead of anything. And we're going in. We get called. A6 diamonds. He beats us. So this is one of those weird things. Again, I'm not sure. No folding with the over, the gutter, and the diamonds. So that's out. The problem with the flatting is that if we flat and brick, we don't get to see the river. Man. Tough spot. Tough spot, Lexi. I mean, if she flatted this to the one, I think she might be flatting here. Man, this is a tough spot. In game, I'm going to say I flat this a lot. But I may be doing that too much. Because, again, when we brick turn and they jam, we're in a fucking shithole of a spot. So, straight draw, flush draw, aces. Yeah, you're doing good against aces here. You are, Cyrus. But doesn't mean we necessarily want to jam it, right? I mean, when I ask myself, we're jamming obviously for value, or we're jamming for value, jamming as a bluff. If we're jamming as a bluff, we can't get better to fold. If we're jamming for value, can worse call? Kind of, because aces were 50-50 and the queen we're ahead of. So why isn't he folding to a jam? I mean, he might be just have too good of a hand, right? I mean, he did check raise multi-way here, which means he's definitely strong. Tony Miles and Random Fish Stick, who took second in the main event. All right, so what did, let me scroll up real quick. Because I was Blab Monkey Man, I think said it was calling. Caleb's calling. Monkey Man was calling. All right, let's do it. Let's find out.
So I definitely think this is a great spot for a shove. Now the reason for this is because we have about 48% equity here because we have our 9 outs for our diamond draw plus 3 more outs for the 10, which would give us the straight. So we have roughly 48% equity. And Tony is definitely capable of check raising polarly here. I think he's aware that this is a pretty good board for his range. He could have weaker diamonds. He could have a hand like ace of diamonds, 9 of spades or something. He could have some backdoor club combo. So I do think that he has some backdoor draws that could be check raising here. So I think putting a lot of pressure on him to call off his stack here is the play. I wouldn't want to just flat and then brick the turn and then have him shove the turn and then us have to make a decision to call it off, whether to call it off or not. So I think just the strategy versus good players is to apply pressure back. So we go all in and he does end up making the fold. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quiz. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
What's super interesting here is I think about what the range is for us flatting the C-bet and then jamming over the check raise. I mean, if he thinks about it, if he's got a queen and we have a hand just like this, then he's behind. If he's got aces, he's 50-50. He's not folding, but he also would 3-bet aces pre, so that doesn't count. Doesn't have kings, because that would 3-bet pre. So it's going to be a lot of draws in king high. And queen X, rather. We block and beat all of their draws. And we're ahead of queen high right now, but that drastically changes on the turn. Interesting. Super interesting spot. Bruce! Am I there yet? What's up, Bruce? It's been wherever, man. I hope you're doing well. It does kind of force our hand with this particular hand. I think it does. He should be folding a queen here a lot because, like, we wouldn't be doing this with, like, ace 6 of diamonds, right? And so if we have a combo draw like this, queen is in big fucking trouble right now. Interesting. We get another fucking flip. Jesus, criminy. All right, monkey, may I call it? Heads or tails? He had a queen or a worse draw, I think, Jerome. Queen Jack is a good fold. Tails for Monkey May. Tails it is. This is awesome doing coin flips without sixes because I win every one. This is awesome. Tails for Monkey May. Congratulations, buddy. GG's. We are whipping through these quizzes. All right, new keyword. New keyword's gonna be eggs. Oops. While you guys are doing that, we're gonna go scrolling. And this is all cash. Sorry, Evan. There's a ton of Lexi and cash and Assassinato. We have a oh, here's one. 1525. All right. Yeah. No. Moving houses, Drew. Moving houses. See all my mojo's gone? Ugh. We're moving down the road. Moving on up to the west side. All right, guys. Looks like we're ready to roll. We'll cross off Caleb and Monkey. Winner number 1, Tina. Winner number 2. Oh, she gets a tough draw with Cosin. Thank you, Meatball. Tina, ready. You see that? She was armed and ready to go. She's not scared of Cosin. Important question, are the K game safe? They will be, because I'm paying movers to move that shit. They fucking better be. Fuck, video game nerds. Dragon's Lair just came out. And, like, I'm dying for that one. Dying for that one. Full pre, says Jay. Fair. We've had quizzes where that's the case. All right, let's play it. Let's find out. Jonathan, show us the way.
Here we are in a $200 buy-in tournament. Again, it's a progressive knockout tournament, but we're going to ignore the bounty for this quiz. Facing an all-in, under the gun, for 10 big blinds. We have ace jack of hearts in the cutoff. Should we fold, call, or go all in?
Yeah, I never got far in that game either. And this one's the combo. It's Dragon's Lair 2, and Space Ace. All 3 versions. So, like, God. It's important, too, because it's one of those things, like, I'm a weird collector where, like, there are certain games that represent my childhood, right? And so that one is a special one for me. This guy jams 10 bigs. We are like we have less than 20 bigs. Suited Ace all in says bingo. Jam, 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 jam. Jam for Tina. Jam for Cosin. This is gonna be a 1 question. If this is a 1 question quiz, then we shall keep the 2 people and we'll pick another one. Everybody jam. Call for Felici Suerte. Uh-oh. Felici Suerte out on Call Island all by herself. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I think it's a jam. The problem with calling Felici Suerte is that this is like 2/3 of our stack. We're committed. Did you mention if this is ICM or mid-game? He did. I don't know. These are good questions. I don't have Dragon's Lair. It just came out. No mention of ICM. Dennis is like all over it. He's not fucking around today. He's like, it's Saturday. This is where I get my work in. He's focused. He's taking notes. Let's go all in and find out.
For all practical purposes, going all in and calling are the same thing here. If we put in 500K out of our 7,
Julius, thank you for
we're
the
not folding
26
for the rest. So I'm typically just going all in here. It doesn't really make a difference. Whenever I am putting in more than about 40% of my stack, I'm pretty much always going all in that scenario because I know I'm not going to be folding with any hand in my range. So the question is, should we call or should we fold here? Well, let's go through and do a little bit of math, look at some shove fold charts, etc. So this opponent's almost certainly using a push or fold strategy. So let's get out the push fold chart. We are in the cutoff playing 10 big blinds deep. And we are against, not under the gun, I want to make this clear. We are against button, cutoff, hijack, low jack, okay? Problem a lot of people make here is they assume I'm against quote unquote under the gun, whereas in reality we're against the low jack seat. So as you see against under the gun, even then ace jack suited is a call. But against the low jack seat, you see ace jack suited is a slam dunk call, right? Ace 8 suited is profitable. So right here, I would call a little bit tighter than this.
Bruce.
Maybe like 6s and better, ace 9 suited and better, ace 10 offsuit and better, king queen suited. I'd probably fold king queen offsuit. Basically, I'm taking every hand that's on the cusp of playability here and folding it just because we are in a tournament and we want to conserve our stack. Let's take a look at the GTO strategy. Let's go to 10 big blinds. We are in the cutoff versus an all-in from the low jack. As you see here, ace jack suited, very clearly a call. And you'll notice these ranges are probably pretty much the same, right? 5s are better, ace 8 suited are better, ace 9 offsuit are better. Yeah, so these ranges are the same. And that's because 10 big blinds under the gun. Actually, let me refresh this. Yeah, let me refresh this just to get back to the starting point. 10 big blinds, if we were in the low jack seat, action raise first in, you see the entire range for the most part is just jamming. You see there is a little bit of min raising with aces, queens, jacks, queen jack offsuit, king 10 offsuit, ace 7 offsuit, ace 6 offsuit, ace 5 offsuit. But basically the rest of the range here is just jamming. So for all practical purposes, you're jamming the vast majority of your range. You're jamming 20% of hands, you're min raising 2. So, you know, the reason that these two strategies result in you calling the same is because the jamming range is effectively the same, 10 big blinds deep. So anyway, no matter how you slice that, this is an all-in. You should also be a little bit tighter than the charts because we have more than 10 big blinds, right? We actually have 15. So we have to be a little bit tighter for that reason. But as we saw, ace 8 suited is a call. So like I said, ace 9 suited, ace 10 suited, somewhere in there is what I should call within this scenario. And ace jack suited is just way better than that. So we are not folding here. This is a pretty easy get in. Also, this is a progressive knockout tournament. I don't know how much this bounty was, but that's only going to make it better. So this is a spot where we are all in. We do get it all in, and we win the hand. I like the opponent's jam, by the way. Some people may think, oh my...
Jonathan, Jesus Christ. It's a fucking ace jack for 10 bigs. Call. End of quiz. Done. All right, that one was a Fugazi, though, because there was only a one-question quiz. So we'll play this one with the same contestants, Kostin and Tina. Here we go. I mean, PKO makes it a little different, but, PKO makes it a little snappier of a snap, but it's still a snap either way. All right, let's play this.
What's up, poker coaching?
Tristan
Got another quiz here from an online MTT, so let's get after it. Under the gun 1 opens for the men. Action folds around to me in the big blind. And I won't really quiz you on what to do here. We can have a calling range, and I think this hand is nice to have it in our calling range. So I do just call. I think we can call with a lot of our strong hands here since we're heads up against one person who has a pretty strong raising range themselves. And we get this flop, which we check, and they also check back. The turn brings an ace. Now, what should you do? Should you check? Should you bet 1,000 or bet 2,000?
Flat the ace queen pre, decent. Especially from early position raise. We raise the later position opens. This one we can mix them flat. Cool. Check on the flop. Pick up an ace. And now what do we do? Do we lead into the opponent or are we checking again and playing tricky trappy? Lots of tricky trappies right out the gate. Dennis, Cyrus, Beats, Marlon, Meatball, Tacos, Kosin. Not Matt. He says, hell no. And not Tina. Tina sizing up to 2K as well. Lady Low checking. Now Jay's just trolling again. Checking. 1K. Oh, there's our first 1K. Checking. Lots of checky trappies. I'm not sure what Tristan's going to do here. I have some thoughts, though. Lots of checky trappies. Matt. He's so angry because he missed the flop bet, and now he wants to size up and try and get value. The question is what's worse, it's calling? And the answer is not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. I kind of like checking here or betting 1K. Because I want to keep my player in and I want to keep him wide. And now this is an ace, and you're leading the ace out of position in a spot where they have range advantage, right? Because you're big blind defend here, which means like you're never fucking bluffing when you have this ace. You're never bluffing when you hit this ace and you lead out, especially if you size up. So I really don't like the size up option myself. I'm cool with checking. This player's capped, and if he has an ace, he's gonna bet for us, and then we can always check raise, and build a pot that way, right? We'll keep Tina on the screen here. 2K for her, and I believe Kosin checked. He did. So yeah, betting 1K as opposed to having a bad habit of being tricky. Sure, I'm wrong. We're gonna find out. Let's see what Tristan says. Kosin checked. You bet 2.
All right, although it seems like we've made a really strong hand here, which we have, we don't want to really be betting that much. So it's a mandatory check, more or less. If you did pick betting, I give you low scores, a 4 and a 5, but really checking is really the only option here. There shouldn't be many other things. We want our opponent to bluff. We have a really strong hold on the hand. We can sometimes be beat, but we're not too worried about that. We just want to get our opponent to put more money in. So yeah, checking is the best play. So we do check, and our opponent bets 2,100. Now that we got them to bet, what do you think we should do now? Should we fold? Obviously not. Should we call, or should we raise to 6,500?
Anybody besides J. Matthew folding? Absolutely, Tina. And you learn the lesson, right? Like, realize when you're betting and you're asking yourself, I'm betting for value, obviously. So the next question is what's worse that's calling? And there's not a lot. I mean, you block the ace-X. He's definitely calling that, but you block it, right? Spades are discounted because he checked the flop and you should bet all his spades. Overpairs all discounted. Doesn't have jacks, queens, or kings because those would bet the flop. And so now we're pretty much just targeting other ace-X which we block, which means not a lot. So we check. $6.5 for Cyrus. Meatball just calling. Beats calling. Dennis calling. Hollywood going with the raise. Tacos with him. Bruce not sure. Call question mark. Call for Carlson. Tina calling as well. I have mixed emotions about this one. So the question here is if we call here, does the river? We're going to check the river because we're not the aggressor, and then do they check back? I mean, if we call, we're still pretty effing capped. Still a lot of 10 and a 7. Do you think they do? And then we can check raise river. Call this. There's 4 plus 48. There's 9 out there and 24 in our stack, and then they bet another like 5. Yeah, I guess we can check jam river. I am kind of leading call, if I'm honest. I am kind of leading call myself. Make him pay for draws. The problem is that his draws are super discounted, right, Bingo? Because flush draws would all bet. Flush draws, 8-9. Even I think like Jack 8 and Jack 9 suited should be betting the flop. And so when they don't have a lot of draws. And that puts them back, like we were saying, in the ace-X or nothing range a ton. Doesn't have overpairs either. And if he's got ace-X or nothing, we really want to keep him bluffing, especially when we still have 10 and 7 in our range. I think I'm leaning call myself. Call for Tina, call for Carlson. Let's find out. 10 points.
All right, again, like we have a very strong hand here. We now have our opponent betting, which is great. We could make some assumptions on what they check the flop with, but it doesn't matter all that much. The question is, do we ever raise here? And I want to say no, we don't. Not with ace-queen. If we had ace-10, if we had ace-deuce, If we had, I think ace-7 suited, those hands would raise, particularly ace-10 and ace-deuce, probably more than ace-7. Also, if we had a hand like 10-7, then yes, those are raising. Our sevens would raise, our deuces would raise, and then some of our bluffs might raise. Some of our bluffs might be all in here. But yeah, more or less, we don't want to be raising. We just want to be calling. And there's not much else to say about it. If we raise here, we just discourage our opponent from continuing to bluff. We want them to have some like queen jack, some queen kings, and some worse aces that they might think are good, since we're pretty high up in our range here. So we do just call. The river, we make 2 pair, brings the flush, but we aren't going to do anything but check. And our opponent decides to check back 8-9 high. So this was a spot where I think we played our hand perfectly, but our opponent misses a bet. I think they could mix in checks and bets on the flop for sure. But once they get to the river, I think they have a mandatory bluff with 9 high. And that's where they misplayed their hand. Yeah. Now, obviously, I wasn't going anywhere. I was going to call any bet. But in terms of a range play, they should totally be betting here. So hopefully you enjoyed this quiz. Tristan Wade, see you in the next one.
That one was a little tricky. It definitely was a little tricky. It's not about necessarily just pushing your good hand. You got to think about your opponent's range and what you're targeting, either as a value or as a bluff. And when you ask yourself that question, the checking and the calling becomes way more appealing, for sure. So that was a good one. All right, guys, we need a new keyword, and we need something Easter related. We did. We could do chocolate. How's that? I'm struggling though, being Jewish, trying to come up with Easter themed keywords. Yeah, I don't know. He just played passive. He's supposed to follow through. He missed the bet, Cyrus. He just pussed out. All right, keywords working. Let's pick a new quiz. What time is it? Oh, we still got time. You whizzing through these now. Without 6s. Yapping. We're whizzing through these quizzes. I said it. Clip that shit. All right, 1606. We're gonna go back to I'm filling in these gaps here. You go back to Lexi. Clearly 6 is a problem. Last time he said I was Robin. And he was Batman. Definitely he's Robin, right? Clearly. Tina wants a rematch. I said it's a Dennis. I said it. I've called him worse to his face. So it's okay. Frustrated. I keep not taking those draws out of range when he checks flop. Expect those things to still be there, so then I make mistakes thinking I'm valuing those when really not. So again, range issues, sigh. That's good, buddy. I mean, I would say like it's good. It's okay to be frustrated on some level, but don't beat yourself up too much, right? And it's about using it to learn and get better, right? And I'm trying to think of a post-it note for you on that one, Matt. Where like, I don't know if like consider ranges is a good way to verbalize that or articulate it, but I think, yeah, like I have match value hands, right? For matching my value hands with my bluffs. I know something along that is a good note for you to have on your to-do list if you don't have it already, Matt. If you can think of a good way to write that down so that it triggers something in your brain. Cool. Let's draw some winners here. He's pinky, hear the braid. I love it. That's 6 is this boy wonder. This got golden. This got better and better as it matured. Winner number 1 is Dennis, the DMC. That motherfucker gets drawn and wins every week. So maybe that's the Matt. Think about target range. Target range when value betting. I don't know, something along those lines. Winner number 2, the Meatball. All right, guys, let's do this. Lexi, learn us something.
What's up, everyone? Lexi Gavin here, and today we are going to go over a hand that I played in the 1K at the World Series of Poker. So here we have Jack 5 of diamonds in the big blind. We are starting the hand with roughly 22 bigs. The button min raises to 6K. What do you think we should do? Fold, call, or raise to 17,000?
I'm definitely Chong, man. I'm definitely Chong. That's funny. Calls just streaming into the chat. Call. It's a Meatball and Dennis for this one. Call. Meatball calling. Felici Suerte calling. Merman calling. Meatball calling. Everybody calling. Don't fold suited hands. Against button open. Pretty damn close to any stack size. If not any. Cool. Everybody call. Let's do it.
I think this is a close spot. I think we could fold. I think we could call. Here we decided to call the min raise. If he had gone any bigger, I'm most likely folding. I do defend a little bit wider versus min raises when I'm in the big blind when I have a shorter stack like this. It's just you need to be defending when you're facing min raises a lot more than when you're facing 3x opens. And with a stack size like we have, we are in a spot where we could be check raising and check shoving some of our drawing hands and flush draws like that. So here we have flopped top 2 pair, which is just such a beautiful thing when you defend super wide from the big blind. We call this the big blind special. So Jack 5-4 with a flush draw. We check. He bets 5K. What do you think we should do? Call, raise to 14,000, or go all in?
What do we do? Top 2. Sweet. Marlon, you can't check. You're facing a bet. Court awareness, Marlon. Court awareness. Jam for Cyrus. 14 for Jerome. Not hard to get it all in, indeed. Not on these stack depths. Pretty easy. All in for Meatball. And 14 for Dennis. Uh-oh, here's where we part ways. No tie. Trappy McTrapperston. Calling for rubber. All in for Lady Low. 14. What am I doing? Shit. Call this. There's 40 out there and 59 in our stack. Don't need a ton of protection. We have top 2, so it's hard for them to have a pair. And they bet small. I think I'm calling. I would raise this for certain if we were deeper. For like 40, 60 bigs. But here, if a spade comes, we're still going for it. I think SPR does allow us to just call Matt. I don't think I would donkly turn though, Marlon, because one, it depends on the turn, and 2, give me a bluff. Oh, sure, that's a good one too, Rubber. If it's an earlier position open, I like that a lot. They got pocket kings. Uh-oh, Lady Low calling her shot. She's Babe Ruth in it. She's putting them on the one-hand range. All right, cool. So, Dennis 14, Meatball all in. We'll keep Meatball up here, and we'll see what happens. Dennis 14, Meatball all in.
So I think this is close between a call and a raise. I don't like shoving here. We're a little bit too deep. I don't want to maximize my fold equity with a shove. And when we have top 2 pair, we block top pair and middle pair, obviously. So it's less likely for them to have something to call us with. Like, we're just kind of hoping he has an overpair here. Even if he had a hand like 8s or 9s or 10s, like, he's probably going to be shoving to a fold. I mean, he might call just because it is a draw heavy texture, which is pretty good for our range. So we certainly could have a lot of flush draws and some straight draws, in which he might call it off with 9s and 8s. But I think raising here to 14K is good. We could also call, but I think it looks stronger when we call. I mean, if we had a hand like ace jack, I think we would probably be check raising here as well. So I think, I think putting in the check raise here is good. He does end up making the call. And the turn is the 10 of hearts. So what do you think we should do? Check, bet 18,000, or bet 35,000?
We did raise, they did call. Now what? Really? What are we doing? What are we doing? As played. 18. Oh, he gave them the as played. You know you fucked up in someone's eyes if they say as played. 18K. All in for... Sorry, that's not an option. God damn it. I'm going to jam for... That's like pot plus. 18K for Dennis. Small for Chris. 18 for Matthew. 18. Check. Ooh. Ooh, the old check raise check, eh? Ooh, Felicia Suerte in Hollywood getting on that check raise check train. $35K for Cyrus putting the hammer. 18. We're not leading. We're C-bet. We're check raised. So, yeah, I guess we're leading. I don't know. 35 for me, ball. This is so weird. Interesting. Check for Caleb. Why 35K and not all in? Good question. I don't think we ever go 35K and not all in. I don't think we go 35K and leave 10 bigs behind. So 35K out of the question. 18K seems appealing. The check raise check, like, actually has got some sexiness to it. The only thing I'm thinking about when I check raise this, and they're still here on this board, it's 6-7. It's like ace 2, ace 3, and then it's a lot of jack X. And if we bet here, we lose the ace 2, ace 3, cool. 6-7, probably still calling, and the jack X, which makes me want to bet. If we check, do those hands check turn and get to river, and then we have to check river because it's weird. Yeah. There's a tough one between check and 18. 18 leads to Easy River Jam? It does. But checking actually disguises us in a funny way. It makes us look more draw heavy that missed. In a spot where we're going to have a ton of check raises, blind. I don't know how well. I mean, it's Lexi. I'm sure she studied. But I know that in big blind defend on 20, we have a lot of check raises. We have a lot of check raises on a board like this. And check raise check seems really appealing. Interesting. All right, 35K for Meatball, 18 for Dennis. This is super interesting. They have aces or kings? Probably not. They probably get that in on the flop a lot on this board with all the draws, right? What's up, Al? Toe solo. 6 is on vacation. With $2 available, the bet seems nice. That is a fair argument there, Chris. Let's find out. 18 for Dennis, and I think we have Meatball on the screen. We do. Meatball was 35, so we got to do this one first, and then Meatball. 18.
All right,
points.
so we should definitely be continuing here. As for sizing, I think that it would be a little bit too much to go for the turn shove. We have more than a pot size bet behind, and we do still want to reel him in. So I think going about 18,000 here is good. So he does make the call, and the river is a deuce. So what do we do? Check, bet 25K, or go all in?
I can see some merits for checking. Betting the obvious option. What's with this 25K fucking... Just puts these weird ass bet sizes, huh? I mean, 25K is still third pot. It is pretty small. It is pretty small. Out checking. Interesting. I can definitely see a couple arguments for potentially checking. All in for Tina. You're not even the guest of honor. She just wanted to make sure I see it. All in for Meatball. Dennis still coming in. One chip him. That's interesting too. That's the old jams. NBA jams. Ooh. Maybe I'll play that later. I got that arcade machine. I haven't played that one in a while. Both players jamming. Yeah. I mean, jamming the obvious answer. Checking pretty interesting because if we check, they now get to bluff misdraws. The problem is they check back all their Jack X. We also could potentially be doing this with our misdraws. I think jamming's the obvious answer. I don't know why I'm feeling so tricky today on this quiz. Jamming's the obvious answer. No free check back for Jack X. I get it. Albatross, thank you for the sub, buddy. Check fold. Get the fuck out of here. The one blind is actually kind of interesting. That's the old Huckleberry move. One blind's interesting because that induces a lot of people to freak the fuck out. Super weird. All right, all in for both players. Let's find out.
All right, we definitely should continue betting here for value. And I think the only sizing would be all in. There's 80,500 in the pot, and we have 32K behind, so that's a perfect spot there. And he does make the call with Jack 7. So we took a nice little pot, kind of coolered him, but that's all good. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
No free check back for the Jack. No free check back for the Jack. All right, guys. That was a good one. Dennis with the mad swish. Congratulations. GG's, Mr. Meatball. You did good. And we got time for another one. Yeah, Marlon put out the little one blinder to induce. Thanks, Lexi. Talk to you later. Good chat, Lexi. Good chat. She took over the poker coaching Instagram a couple days ago. It was fun. Alrighty. New keyword. Yeah, Huckleberry. I said my Huckleberry with the one blind bet. It's a screen. Huckleberry? What the hell? That sounds like Huckleberry when you're drunk. What's a new keyword? I need an Easter-themed keyword. Help a Jewish kid out. I don't want to do basket. That's dumb. Huckleberry isn't the key word? What the hell? Mean so... Oh, like a jelly beans. All right, we'll go jelly beans because I can't think of anything better. Jesus! I didn't want to go that deep, to be honest with you. Ham, lint. All right, jelly beans, keyword. Ham. We're going to do this online, MTT, big buy-in with Tristan. While you guys are putting jelly beans in, I'm going to grab something to snack on. I am starving. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Zombie Jesus. All right. Oh, dog jelly beans. I like that one, Julius. Well played. Well played. Why does the Easter Bunny hide his eggs? Let's go up to Tina's question. Very first hand, turn even line was 60. It's got to be above that. Is it wrong to fold an offsuit first hand of a tournament when I'm big line and the entire table went all in but 5 folded? I mean, it's right to fold ace thing if the whole table goes all in. What the fuck were you playing, Tina, where the whole table went all in? That's some play money shit? Like, what happened? Holy God. I like Jesus better because he's the reason for Easter. Fair. But I ain't trying to get that heavy. Listen, I ain't judging. I don't give a shit, but as a Jew, it's kind of weird to have a Jesus keyword. Alright, let's do it. I don't want to find anyone out. He's been screwing the chickens. That's pretty funny, actually. It was a bounty. I don't care. I mean, even if you have a hand like aces, and not that you should fold aces in that scenario, but even if you have a hand like aces, once there's 5 people all in, you are no longer a favorite in the hand. And so if you have ace king, and it's like first hand of the tournament, there's plenty of other. You don't need to win that pot. And just because you win that pot doesn't mean you're going to win the tournament. So you can easily pass on that spot, Tina, and find a better way to collect chips throughout the course of a hours-long tournament, right? Instead of putting it all on the line the first hand. All right. First winner. Mr. Beats. Second winner. Hollywood. This should be a good matchup. All right, guys. Good luck. Let's do it.
What's up, poker coaching? It's your coach Tristan Wade
So this is super
here with
low.
a quiz from a $600 MTT.
What happened, Tristan?
So action folds to the low jack who makes min raise, and we are in the big blind with ace 4 offsuit. What should we do? Should we fold? Should we call? Or should we 3-bet to 165,000?
Sorry, guys. This recording is super low. Ace 4, placing a min raise, call, re-raise or fold. What the fuck, Chris? Your car started on fire. Holy shit. This is super fun, Chris. We do this from with sixes too. We also have guests a lot of times. We've had Faraz on here. We've had Affleck multiple times. We've had Justin Saliba on here. We've had Tristan Wade on here. We've had Evan Jarvis multiple times. We had Greg Raymer, Jesse Sylvia. We've had all the big streamers. Bet on Drew, Fat Train. Who else? Lightning, Fallon, Mephisto just got partnered. Poker Bras, a bunch of them. You can check those out on the YouTube channel, !YouTube in the chat. For you to get those. Also sign up for pokercoaching.com for free. Get your big blind charge for 100 blinds or more. 20 free quizzes and some homework assignments. Go to the Poker Coaching Discord where we have study groups 4 times a week. And history rooms going crazy. Giveaways. Another one like this, but more in depth with me and Crazy Sixes on Thursdays. There's all that. Get to Paulo. I am actually moderately friendly with the Paulo, so I could probably get him actually. That's not a bad one. And he's a long-time poker coaching student. The Paulo wouldn't be a bad one there, Lucifer. You can come in here and do his parkour. I'll tell you a quick story about him. We were at the featured table in Costa Rica together, and he's a nice guy. And he has moments where he's. Did we ever get Lappy? I feel like we did have Lappy. I'm 99% sure we had Lappy already. Anyways, we're at the table together, and we were doing a tour of the corporate offices of America's Card Room together. We were in this whole thing, and like he's like always on. He's always got the fucking camera rolling. It's like, oh, I'm gonna green screen this later, and I'm gonna do this later. The guy is always fucking on. It's no wonder he just hit 100,000 subscribers. All right, so we're calling here, right? Everyone's calling. Yeah, we're calling. We're defend. Don't raise this. It's too weak. Can't fold it. We got an ace. Ready call. Let's go.
All right, here in the big blind, we're going to have a lot of hands that we defend with. Suited, connected, and valuable hands. And then mostly any ace in a heads-up pot is going to be playing pretty well given the pot odds we're getting. And yeah, so we're going to be continuing a lot of hands. We could have some 3-bets, specifically some 3-bet bluffs here, but it wouldn't be with these like offsuit crappy aces. I think like a hand like ace-3 suited or ace-5 suited would like 3-bet some, or some suited broadways, or some suited connectors. So because this hand has playability but not great playability, we just want to see a flop. So we do call. And then we get this flop, the 10-3 deuce, 2 spades. So we're going to check most of our range from the big blind, and we now face a small bet. Oops. What should we do? Should we fold?
He misclicked in the quiz.
To 94,000.
Tiny little C bet. Do we call? Do we fold here? Yeah, ACRs in Costa Rica. I've been to the corporate offices, toured the whole thing. It's actually a big, like, whole floor of an office building. It's really nice. I can show you pictures. I got a bunch of pictures. They did a whole little presentation. We got to meet a bunch of the staff, the tournament director, and when I went, Norm Macdonald, the comedian who recently passed away, was there. It was me and him and Lone Car, Fat Train. Beats calling. And Hollywood calling. Raise if we had an ace of spades. Call without, says Caleb. Raise, says Albert. Big balls. He not scared. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Staying in Henderson, yes. Going to like 20 minutes closer to the strip, basically. Eastern and like St. Rose-ish. Right now, I'm on a 215 all the way at Stephanie, like the far end of Henderson. Kind of like raise, but not 94K. Okay. I think our rate is better at 3-bet 94K, says Cyrus. So, Caleb's correct. We don't raise here without a spade. We need that much equity. If we had ace of spades 4, we raise here 100%. If we had ace of spades 5, 100%. Conversation with you and Matt. We looked. We just didn't find anything over there. Over in Bougie Town. Do we have the mouthful? We have an over and a gut shot. We do not have the mouthful, Albatross. Good call. Team Toe guys coming out. Good questions. Yeah, but if we have ace of spades 4, ace of spades 5, then we have gut shot over backdoor flush. Gets to be more of a mouthful for sure. Here, the call. And the one thing you said didn't like the raise size. This is at 94K is actually a good raise size. It's actually potentially a hair small because we're out of position, right? We want to raise bigger. So anywhere between, I would say, 90 and like 120 is kind of where you should be. Too expensive. What? I have to get better at poker before I can afford Summerlin. What? I'm God's big fucking toe. How dare you, sir? Chris said, you're not good enough to live in Summerlin. You got to work on these quizzes, homie. Get your ass in those ag reports. Oh, shit. We got fucking needled. All right, everybody calling. Yeah, we can't fold for this price either. We got a gut shot and over. Don't fold your gut shots. We have to call. Let's go.
All right, so we get this 10 high board. We don't have a spade. We would feel a lot more comfortable continuing here with a spade. Or maybe even having like a bluff raise here if we had the ace of spades or something. But with this hand variant, ace 4 red, I think we just mostly want to call. I don't think we can fold yet because we're facing a small bet and we can hit a 5 for a straight, we can make 4 for a pair, or an ace for a pair, and we could have the best hand. So just not a spot where we're able to fold yet. We could maybe consider a raise to start bluffing with this specific hand. Another hand that might bluff here is like ace deuce, because it's just hard for playability moving forward that those hands sometimes get turned into bluffs. But again, we might want to have a spade in our hand to really be gung-ho about putting in a lot of chips here as a bluff. So with that said, I think calling is mostly the best option. Turn brings a 6.
Definitely want to spade to bluff, Chris.
We are going to check again, and now we face a big bet from our opponent. What should we do now? Should we fold?
Same gut
should
shot.
we call? Or should we now raise to 350?
Oh, shit. Or should we now raise? I like how he said that with, like, some mystere. Should we now raise? I could kind of, like, feel his eyebrows doing this. What do you guys think? Albert Gonzo. Peace. No added equity. Dennis, peace. Jerome, peace. Beats, peace. You're not a nit. I played with you all day yesterday, Spazzy McGee. There's Cyrus. Want to jam. Because he feels so weak. He only opened pre and bet twice and sized up on the turn. Somehow he feels weak. Hollywood. Going with the raise to 350. He not scared. He liked the eyebrows. They enticed him. Fold for Cyrus. Fold for Meatball. Should have folded a long time ago, lady, though. No. We can't fold the flop. We're getting the right price with an over and a gut shot. So folding the flop's definitely a mistake. But probably should have folded to this bet a long time ago while I'm sitting here blabbing. Fold. Easy fold to a 3-bet jam. What? 3-bet jam. What 3-bet jam? The fuck? Bombs away. This smacks the hell out of our range to represent 350K. Marlon not scared. Should have unregged pre. Pop balls ace 4 without a spade or a club. Probably going to say call, but I'm a nit island too. Yeah. I think we fold down. We don't pick up any extra equity. There's another extra draw for them. Now we don't know if our ace is good. Our 4 may or may not be good. I think we just fold now, especially sized up. And that's not the greatest bluff card. Like he's betting this to get a 2 or a 3 to fold. Seems a little sketch. So I think it's a fold. Hollywood raising. Beat said he was folding. Let's find out.
All right, this is a
10
spot
points
where
for
our range
Hollywood, you got
is
goosed.
still
Not like
open.
this.
It's undefined. You know, we could have called the flop with a deuce, a 3, a 10, a spade draw. We could have 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. And some of those hands have improved, like 4, 5 now makes it nuts. A hand like 4, 6 makes a pair. So we're kind of protected here when we get double barreled. Like, sure, we are going to be up against bluffs, but I think depending on the turn card, those bluffs can be reduced a bit. But either way, facing more aggression, facing a big bet, and being out of position with an ace-high type hand, we just have to fold it. There's really nothing else we can do. We don't want to call again with this hand to just get blown off of it possibly. And we don't want to raise because we have no interaction with the board whatsoever. Spades would still call us. Clubs will still call us. Maybe someone shoves a hand like a combo draw or something. So really, we just are handcuffed here and we have to let the hand go now. There's not really much else to say. I want to kind of give any more incentive to continue in this spot, but we really don't have much given our hand per se. Now, if we did have a hand like 4, 6 or something, then I think that would give us enough merit to continue if we could find enough bluffs from this person. But more or less, we got to pitch it, and we do.
Pitch it.
So hopefully you enjoyed this quiz. Tristan Wade, on to the next one.
On to the next one. Good job there, Beats. You swished it. Oh, Beats too rich. He wants to roll it forward. Nice. All right, guys. That means the next giveaway is going to be worth the $10. New keyword is Easter. This is going to be the last one of the sesh. Last one of the sesh. Who's it going to be? Oh, shit. It might be Tristan again. We got Tristan and Lexi here. We won't give Tristan and Lexi enough love. That's the ones we've skipped like most of this. Some of it's cash, though. So that's how we skip because he's too wordy. All right. It's going to be Lexi again. 1580. $15.80. I'm rich, bitch. Can you put the $10 toward coaching? Yeah, except the problem with that, Chris, is that I'm $100 an hour. So I can give you 10 minutes of my time. Can I do Faraz without sixes? He'd be mad, right? So yeah, I'm trying to do quizzes that are like down the list so that the ones at the top I can do when sixes gets back. Although next week, oh no, we'll be together next week for sure. It'll be the first study stream from the new house, right? No, it'll be the last. I lied to you guys. That will be the last study stream from this house because I moved the following Wednesday. Oh shit. All right, let's draw winners. 6 minutes is fair. Oh, yeah. So 10 minutes. I give you the extra 4. Get a new car first. Serious, Chris. Like, your car's on fire. Put that $100 toward a fire extinguisher first. And then, I'm not going anywhere, buddy. I'm not going anywhere. Free 4 minutes. It's like buy two, get one free. All right, let's roll it. Lady Low. Winner number 1 and Glenzim. Lady Low. Congratulations, peeps. Let's do this.
Hey everyone, Lexi Gavin here, and today we're going to go over a hand that
Lexi's
I
got, like, the
played
best
in
mic in the game.
1K double stack at the World Series of Poker. So let's jump into the hand. Here we have 10 6 of spades in the cutoff. It folds to us. What should we do here? Should we
Who's
fold,
opening the 10-6?
call, raise to 1,200, or raise to 1,500?
Who's opening the 10-6? Why are folks like getting a coaching now? Priorities. Fucking priorities. Seriously. We're in the cutoff. No, I write it down because when I have 2 browsers open and I do different answers on the quiz, whichever one I click first, the score shows up on it fucks each other up. So I have to write them down to make sure I get each person's point count right. That's what's happening. Fold to Caleb. Not an open, he says. Matt questioning it. Fold for Dennis. Your mic is way better. I'm serious. Affleck, you can get your fucking mic game on point, dude. You put out a shitload of content, homie. GBT is actually older than me. There's nobody older than you, Marlon. Even Machine Gun folds here. Sheesh. We got opens, though. We got opens from Hollywood. We got opens from Meatball. We got opens from Lady Low opening. We got Jay Dawson opening. Mendo. Opening but fold in real life. Chris opening. Glenzim opening. So opens from both our contestants. One going 15. Lady Low going 12. 1,200 for Albatross. Easy open. Suited sixes. He ain't lying. Here's the chart, guys. If you're not opening 10-6, you are too tight. 6 suited sixes is correct. All your suited sixes get opened here. Don't be a nit. Don't be a nit. The question is what size? So 90 bigs deep, I'm going to definitely go over min. I mean, 1500 is fine. I'd probably go 12, you know, myself. Lady Low is going 12. We'll keep her on the screen. 1500 for Glenzim. Over here. 12.
So this
for
could
Lady
definitely be a
Low.
fold, but I decided to raise it up here. I
6
remember the
points.
blinds being kind of
the
weak
15.
and tight. So the tighter and the weaker the blinds, the wider you
If we
can
were
open
deeper,
in
we'd
the
go 15.
cutoff.
If we were
So
over
we raise it
150
up to
bigs, it's
1200.
effective. We go deeper. We
I
go
like going a
15.
little more than a min raise here, and the button flats and blinds fold. The flop is 964, 2 clubs and a heart. What should we do here? Should we check, bet 3,000, or bet 1,600?
Very true. Bruce Helmet Funny Net. A nitwit. I love it. Why is the option 1200? Why not just do 1300? Are we saving 100 for some grand strategy I'm aware of? I don't think it matters. I think 100 bigs. 100 bucks. Makes no difference either way. More than min. I mean, honestly, I would go 2.5 here. So, being devil's advocate, I would go 1250. So it's fine either way. Cut up open. Button. Flat. What's the play? Check, check, check. Check, check, check. C-bet for Cyrus. Check. C-bet for Glenn. Check, check, check for Pete Bus. Albatross betting. Nucifer betting. Check for Lady Low. So they are going to part ways once again. So, guys, if you don't know this strategy, cut up versus button is one of the highest checkback strategies there is. I mean, with range here, we're checking like 80% of range. Cut up versus button. And then doing a lot of check raising and check calling and some check folding. So I would check here 100%. I'm not sure what she's going to do, but I know the sim's going to tell you to check because the sim tells you to check a fuck ton of the time. The other problem with betting here is like when we bet and get floated, and the built-in's going to float us a lot. Overs and flush draw, pairs that beat us, 8s, 9x, 7s, 10 some, right? A hand like 5-7, a 7-8, and then we're really lost, like almost no matter the turn card when we bet and get called. What are we doing on turns? Are we betting again with second pair that may become third pair? Are we checking and capping our range and getting on? It gets really ugly. So I think we check. Lady Low was checking. Glenn was betting, I believe, 3K. Let me scroll up. He wasn't too long ago. 3K, and we'll find out. 3K for Glenn. And check.
So I think this could go either
Really
way.
close.
I think
9
this
and
could be
10.
a check or a
10
bet.
for Glenn,
Now,
9 for
normally
Lady Low.
I usually check my middling pairs, but on this particular texture,
Close either way.
there are some draws out there that I think we could get value from. I think he'll be calling with a lot of his 7-8s and club combos, which we don't block either of them. And we don't have the strongest kicker. 10's decent, but I am probably more inclined to check and then call if he bet if I had like ace-6, king-6, or queen-6. So because the kicker isn't super strong and there are draws we can get value from, I decided to go for a bet this time. I do also remember the button was kind of stationy. He was kind of a bit of a calling station. So in that situation, like when you're facing when you're up against a calling station, then you should be c-betting wider because they're going to call you with more under pairs and bottom pairs and things like that. So we go 3K, and he calls. Turn is the king of hearts. What should you do now? Check, bet 4,200, or bet 7,800?
I don't have this ramp because it's so deep. However, while we do check with 80% of rangers, 20% of the rangers so, 25% of the rangers so that we are betting, I'm not sure if this falls into it or not. We'd have to run it to find out. But there's definitely some mix of betting, I'm sure. The other problem is that if he's a calling station, we're going to get floated a lot, though, and then get it on awkward turns like this. So I can see that as a reason of checking and not betting. But here we are. Snap check, says Chris. Check for J. Matthew. Check for the meatball. Julius crying. He hasn't decided what to do. He's too busy sobbing at the table. Glenn checking. Lady Low checking. Check, 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 check. As played, who knows? Everybody checking, I see. Think it's raised, says Cyrus. He's so angry all the time. Check, even Hollywood's checking Cyrus. Ruh-roh. mean, this comes down to the classic tale, Cyrus. Are you betting for value or are you betting as a bluff? If you are betting for value, what is worse that is calling at this point? Not a lot of. And if you are betting as a bluff, what's better that's folding? And the answer is not a lot. So I think we check. Both contestants checking. Let's find out. I want to check here first and then check here.
So here I decided to check. We could bet again. If we bet again, it's essentially like we're turning our hand into a bluff, which I do think we have enough showdown value to check. So I think the reason for c-betting here is the king is a scare card, but I don't necessarily think a 9 is going to fold if we did bet the turn. So I say just check, and he bets 3,200. What do you think we should do now? Should we fold, call, or raise to 9,000?
All right. 6-10-10 for Glenn. 10-9-10 for Lady Low. Show us the way. Al folding. Jerome folding. Marlon folding. Bunch of calls. Bruce, Meatball, Chris, Colin, Dennis, Colin. Lady Low calling. GP Poker calling. Monkey May calling. Beats knitting out. Jay Dawson calling. Lots more calls than folds, but there are a handful out there. Glenn's calling. Colin River. Yeah, we can't fold here. I mean, they're going to have a bunch of floats. We still have the best hand a lot. We can't fold here. Not only that, but they bet small as fuck. Like, we can't fold here. There's no way we can fold here. Call the only answer. Let's find out.
Because I think we are winning at showdown at some frequency on this texture versus this opponent with these with all the draws on the board. I do think that we could call. His sizing is pretty small, and he could be betting some of his club combos. Maybe he flatted the flop with some backdoor heart combos that now he's betting his turn flush draw. And because we checked, I don't think that he's betting a 9 for value here. Hand. I think he would probably check a lot of those back. And unless he has like king, queen of clubs, king, jack of clubs, like some kind of king X combo with clubs, I don't think he has that many kings in his range. So I do think we should call one straight here, reevaluate the river. River is a brick for him. We check. He bets 7,600 into a pot of 16,000. What do you think we should do? Fold, call, or go all in?
This is where shit gets hard. Did bet small here. 40% pot or so. Definitely looks a little value-y. Bruce calling. He's not scared. Jay Dawson folding. Glenn calling. Dennis, Al, Lady Low, all folding. Contestants parting ways again. GP Poker folding. MD up at 75%-ish. Question, Cyrus. If it's a missed flush draw, you have the best hand. Why would you jam? You would just call and beat all their missed flush draws. Versus jam, which gets missed flush draws to fold, and then you only get called by better. Same response to machine gun. Start crying and get called. Can you imagine you're playing poker? Dude seems relatively normal. I mean, it's Julius in this scenario, hypothetically, so relative. It's a strong term, but relatively normal. And like, C-bets, you call, turn card comes, and the dude just starts sobbing at the table. No, just, can you imagine? That is funny. Lay low folding, Glenzim, I think calling, cool. Fuck, man, this is a tough one. He's got a fuck ton of missed draws. The king and the queen don't help him very much. And so those aren't really scare cards. We beat all the missed draws, and then 9x owns us. I wouldn't lie and say I'm not folding this in game most of the time because these hero calls get to be expensive, and so I'm kind of over folding in these spots right now, which is kind of murking my opinion to making this a fold. The other problem is that there's so many missed draws. Having a 10 on hand is not great. We block 8-10, we block 7-10. We still got so many clubs. 7-8, 5-7. I'm going to lean fold. Stick to my guns. Lady Love's folded. Calling for Glenn. Let's find out.
All right, so if you said
Five
call,
points.
you are correct. Now, folding this river would be okay, but since all of the draws bricked, which him flatting from the button, I think he's going to have more brick draws on this texture than nutted hands because, well, first of all, he's flatting, like I said, a lot of 7-8 combos, club combos, could be have floated the flop with some backdoor heart combos. He didn't 3-bet his pre-flop, so I don't think he has a hand like pocket kings, pocket queens, or ace king. King queen off also 3-bets from the button at some frequency. I think some of his suited combos of king queen are going to be flatting more, and some of his offsuit will be
Oh, that's not true.
3-betting
5,
more.
7,
He
8, 10,
actually could be
7,
3-betting his suited combos too for value, especially if we're opening wide from the cutoff. So he could have king queen, but like I said, unless he has king queen of clubs or hearts, I don't think he is, or like king queen with the queen of hearts. I don't think he's going to be calling too many of our C bets. So we don't block any of the draws. We don't block the heart combos. We don't block 7-8. We don't block heart combos. And like I said earlier, I don't think that he's value betting a 9 here. He could have a hand like king 9 suited. And he certainly could have some sets. Like he could have 9s, which he might 3-bet pre-flop, and he definitely could have 4s. So those are some hands that beat us. We do block middle set, which I like. But because the turn and river just became scare card, he might think that he could get away with a bluff here. So I decided to make a light hero call. There'd be no reason for going all in because all we have is a bluff catcher. So we do make the call, and he did have 7-8. So that worked pretty nicely for us.
Yeah, definitely have one of those bluffs. This is an interesting one that I would have to run to be sure, to be honest with you. I feel like folding the river seems prudent, but I can see all the missed draws too, and the king queen obviously not scare cards. This was an interesting one though. It was a 6 and then 10 10 10 10 for Glenzim, giving him a total of 46. It was a 10 9 10 10 6 no 10 9 10 10 5 like you see on the board for 44 points for Lady Low. She gets eked on the river decision, and Glenzim coming in at the buzzer and taking the win. Congratulations, Glenn. Lady Low, unlucky there. I thought you got this one for sure. Surprise little buzzer one. Cool, guys. That was fun. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for everything. Make sure, if you haven't followed, click the follow. Here comes Joe. Exclamation point PC. This is Jonathan Little's poker coaching website. He sponsors the stream. You can sign up for free. Get 20 big blind or 20 quizzes, big blind charts for 100 blinds or more, and some homework assignments. If you sign up for the premium, there are webinars every week with a bunch of the coaches that you get one-on-one time. You can talk to them directly. It's great. You can watch them play. They do play and explains. In the poker coaching Discord, exclamation point PC Discord, there are 4 study groups a week. One of them with me and Crazy Sixes on Thursdays, where we go deep into Lucid and ag reports, deeper than what we do here. And then there's 3 days a week with Luis Felipe, who's great, with a variety of topics. We have AMAs in there where you can talk to these coaches one-on-one, ask them anything you want. We have giveaways every week. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's swag, sometimes it's memberships. All that happening in PC Discord. Check that out. If you want to see this one from the beginning, you want to see any of the ones we've done in the past with my usual partner, Mr. Crazy Sixes, and any of the esteemed guests, you can catch them all on the YouTube channel. And even though he's not here, we're going to show him some love. Give Crazy Sixes some of that follow magic. He's a great player. He's a great sidekick. He's a hell of a Robin. And there you go. Who the hell am I going to throw the host over to? LPS. I griefed it. We always throw the host over to Braz. I'm going to try and see if I can't find someone a little different. Might have to be Mr. Rodney. Is Rodney playing poker, though? He is. All right. We're going to throw it over to our buddy Rodney. And that's it. I'll see you next time. Peace.